what's up, family? I want to say thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Courage Chronicles. I'm your host, Devin McKnight. Listen, we just have real conversations with everyday people who found the courage to pursue passion, because I believe everybody has dreams, everybody has passion, but not everybody finds the courage to actually pursue it. You know, I said before that they say the graveyard is the richest place in the world because it's there that you can find all of the songs that were never written, all of the books that were never written, the businesses that were never started. So today I'm really, really excited because not only is this guy a personal friend of mine, he's actually one of my favorite singers, hands down. Like, it's not even close. I want to introduce you to Michael Holloway. What's up, Mike?
What's up, bro?
Appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Listen, it's an honor. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time. I'm really excited because we go back a while. We go back a long way. We've been on several stages together.
Yes.
Did recordings together.
Yes.
It's been really cool. I want to start from the beginning. I want to talk about your journey. Like, tell me where it started for you, like your musical journey. Did you grow up in a musical family? Like, where did it start?
Okay, so if you ask my dad to sing, don't. So
you know he might see this, right?
I know. I'm sorry, Pop. No, he's not. No one in my family really sings.
Yeah.
Plays an instrument. How it started for me was, man, one day my mom was around the house and I just started singing out of nowhere.
How old? What age were you at this point?
I was maybe about 6, 7 years old.
Okay.
And so she says to me, "Hey, we got to get you in this church." And
typical. That's typical parent move. Right.
Typical parent move.
Right.
And so, we went to a holiness church.
Okay.
Holiness church.
Okay.
Holiness church.
Okay.
And so, man, I was in love with the drums, actually.
I got you. Most of us were at that time.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I was in love with the drums, man, and I wanted to play drums. That was all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because I could hide. I felt
Got you.
behind the drums.
Yeah.
And so here comes my mom saying, "Hey, no, you're not going to hide no more." And then I get in school.
Okay.
And I make the mistake of singing in front of my teacher.
How was that?
"Hey, you're going to sing the national anthem, the Negro national anthem."
Oh, wow.
At our school.
Yeah.
And so that was my first time performing in front of people, was not actually in a church.
Wow. How did that go?
It went well, but I was very nervous.
You was nervous.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Devin, I was so nervous. I told my mom not to come.
Come on, man.
I told nobody. I said nobody show up. I just wanna sing it.
So if I bomb, there's no proof.
It's no evidence.
Right.
Nobody can go back and be like, he cracked. But that boy ain't no singer.
Right.
Like,
we missed it.
Yeah, everybody missed it. So it turned out to be good.
Okay.
And so my mom, she would have us to sing in the choir.
Okay.
And so they had me to lead a song.
Okay.
And there's like this, you done been in the old school holiness Pentecostal church. Yeah. It's like this bench. So everybody's like, "Who's singing?"
Yeah.
It's me.
But they can't see.
But they can't see me because I'm laying there. And so my mom was the church mom.
Okay.
And so she comes from around and gives me that tight lip, like, "You better get up." And so I know at that moment.
You know what that means.
I know what it means.
Yeah.
If I don't get up and she got to come over here and get me up,
it's going to be a problem.
Let me just get up.
Right.
And so
right.
time rocks on, man, and the Lord speaks to her and says, "I want you to buy him a keyboard."
Okay.
I don't know anything about keys or anything at this point in life. And so she buys me one, man, and I would say at about 12, I sit down and melodies start coming to me.
Yeah.
And I start playing.
Wow.
Out of nowhere.
So it was a real, like, God gift.
It was really God.
No lessons
No
at this
lessons.
time?
No lessons.
Gotcha.
No lessons at this time.
Yeah.
I wasn't even pursuing any kind of vocal lessons or vocal instructions. I just knew I could do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so time rocks on, man. You know how they find out you can play in the church?
Oh, man. You're a hot commodity at this point.
You're right.
You're a hot commodity.
You understand.
Yeah.
And so, man, I am there. I'm playing and singing.
Mm-hmm.
And then something very critical happens, man. My mom dies when I'm 15 years old.
Right.
And my biggest supporter and my... man, the love of my life at the time. And I'm like, God, come on, man.
Yeah.
You can't do this to me.
Right.
And so to go from having someone always in your corner pushing you, I then at a young age had to find my reason again.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times tragedy happens and we lose our reason.
Right.
And we're like, how am I gonna keep doing this? She was always the one pushing me. She was the courage when I had none.
Right.
And so
you wanted to hide behind the
I wanted,
lay on the stage.
I wanted to.
And she was pulling you up.
She was pulling me up.
I got you.
And it was God at that moment that said, no. I'm your reason now. Find the courage in me.
Yeah.
And so, man, from that moment, it took a turn for me.
Yeah.
I was doing it before, how that boy's anointed and all this good stuff, but it became real to me once I realized what I was doing it for real.
Your real why.
My real why.
Yeah.
My real why. And the epiphany hit me like, man, sometimes we can use things as a crutch and we're leaning on people and we're leaning on things and we don't have the courage to stand on our own 2 feet and say, hey, this is something that God has given to me and I am going to walk this out and see it all the way through. Right. So at 15, I'm dealing with all of this and I'm like, Lord.
And trying to grow up.
Right, I'm trying to grow up. And so I'm like, man, this is tough.
Yeah.
And so, man, what happens is I sing in this group.
What's the name?
Sound of Prophetic Worship. Huge shout out to my brother Philip Mercer, man. I sung with that group for 9 years. I'm gonna tell you something funny that happened.
Okay.
I started out as the keyboard player.
Okay.
For the group.
You weren't singing at the time.
I was singing, but just
just background.
Okay. Just playing. I'll lead some every now and again.
Yeah.
And so as musicians, I don't consider myself like a board player.
Okay.
So we're growing, things are happening, we're growing. Man, I come in rehearsal one day. I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? I see all these other musicians here. And I'm like,
you got
hey, where my board? Where my board at? And he was like, hey, man, you ain't playing no more. I was like, oh, so what I'm doing? I'm like, so what I'm doing?
Right.
And he was like, you gonna be standing up singing? I'm like, hey, bro, let me tell you this. I don't stand up and sing.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, man, look, I'm behind this keyboard.
Stage, right.
There I go again.
Right.
I'm like, no.
Stepping out that comfort zone.
Yeah, I'm like, no. But he was like, man, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah. And
in my head, I'm going, no, it's not.
Right.
I'm like, no, it is not.
Yeah.
And so, time rocks on, man, and in my musical journey, I found that to actually be my strength.
Yeah.
And now, you can't get me to sit down. I don't like sitting down playing now. Playing and singing now.
I got you.
And so, man, and another huge, humongous step in my musical journey, man, I was able to meet the love of my life, my wife.
Yeah, man. In
this group, who is an amazing singer and an amazing
very good writer,
songwriter.
Very good writer.
My goodness,
absolutely.
Katrina is a huge shout out to you, baby. An amazing writer.
Yeah.
And so, man, and things were progressing, and here is where we're at a crossroad. I am now moving into my own artistry.
Wow.
And it's tough because it's like, how do I do this? I have watched everyone else navigate from this place, and now I'm talking about stepping into it. I had put that down in my head so many times. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, God.
Yeah.
Stop talking to me about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
I was like, I'm cool with, sliding on out, doing my little part, coming back on in.
Yeah.
It's over. I'm done. I don't have to worry about any of this other stuff.
Right.
God keeps sending me sign after, and I'm like, Lord. And then if it's not enough, my wife is saying, hey, this is something you need to do.
Wow. So with that, I want to ask you, so when did it transition for you, though, in that moment where you went from just a good singer to, like, I actually want to pursue artistry? Like, I want to be, like, what was that transition like? That
transition was very, very, it was painful.
Okay.
Because it made me face a lot of insecurities. It made me face a lot of things that I didn't have together, because it's different from being a phenomenal singer than from being an artist. Because now it's not just, I can just get up there and sing a song.
Right.
And it sounds good.
Right.
I got to know the stems. I got to know the music.
Yeah. I
have to know how to navigate a show.
Yeah. It's presentation at this point. It's
presentation at this point.
Yeah.
So it's no longer, for lack of better terms, it ain't just, we finna have an A and B selection.
Right. And you get up and you sing a cover tune versus now we're expecting you to come and sing your music. We don't want to hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And even if you are doing a cover, if you have a special arrangement, they're expecting for you to do. And then being an artist, I'm gonna put it this way. All the time you're not gonna get the pass of, oh, they're just tired. Yep. You've got to be you got to have vocal integrity.
Right.
And say, hey, I need to have this is the standard. No matter how many times in a week I sing, I've got to sound.
Because this is what they're paying for. This is what they expect.
This is what they expect.
Right.
And it's just like, and if you come there, voice is gone, you tired, you don't want to talk to nobody, you all slumped over and all. So it caused me to change my thinking on how I approach the stage. Now, of course, we know everything is God, but I believe with the anointing, you have to give the anointing something to work with.
So, man, first of all, you all in my questions right now. Like, that's perfect. It's a perfect transition because I want to ask you about the skill part of it. Because, like I mentioned, whether you will accept this or not, you are recognized as one of the greatest vocalists of our generation. And
thank you.
I want to no, seriously. Like when people talk about Mike Holloway, it's like, oh, like he sings for real. But what I want to ask you about is that skill part and preparation. You know, they say success is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yes.
And so talk to me about the importance of preparation, because I think, even when I think from a biblical standpoint, how the Bible talks about David was anointed and skilled. And so his skill, he didn't just wake up one day and he was a great harp player. Like he was somewhere in the field practicing and he was. So talk to me about that preparation process.
Okay. So this is coming from someone coming up in church. I played at a church. And the pastor would be like, hey, you need to practice. I'm like, man, why? That instilled in me then. It doesn't matter how, the anointing is going to cover some things, but there are some people out there that can know,
Yeah, you ain't starting up your gift.
No, no, we know that chord don't go there. Right. We know those aren't the words.
Right.
Right. And sometimes we put stuff off on other things when in reality it is because we are not cultivating our gifts and we are not sharpening our gifts. And so the preparation for me really looks like for about the fifth time we just did, and we'll talk about that later. So we just did, we did a recording.
Okay.
And so preparation for that, man, that was probably the biggest concert that I've had to date.
Gotcha.
And it caused me to listen to stems over and over.
Right.
And over.
Right.
And over. And over. I was working out, listening to stems. Playing basketball, listening to stems.
Yeah.
I was going to bed saying, hey, okay, baby, hold on. You gotta give me like 45 minutes. I gotta listen to this,
study
this music right quick. And because those things were happening, it made our rehearsals flow much easier. As the leader, I was able to come into rehearsals and say, hey, this is what we're going to change. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to set this up. And it makes the performance so much easier.
Right.
Whenever you know exactly where you are going. But you ain't going to know where you're going
unless you prepare. Yeah.
And preparation looks like, hey, maybe I shouldn't talk hard for this week. Or, hey, I can't sing here for this.
If I have to record
this week.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I got a big show here. So I've got to dial back here so that I can make sure I got enough gas in the tank.
Right.
Here.
Exactly.
And I think it's so much that goes into preparation, man.
A lot of intentionality.
Yes.
Planning, pre-planning, over-planning.
You have to be intentional.
Yeah.
There was something that Sherry Jones Moffitt told me.
Shout out to Sherry.
Shout out to Sherry. You want to talk about
a vocal Bible, right?
So huge shout out to her. She told me, she said, perform before you get on stage. And I didn't know what she meant.
Yeah.
But when I sat down with her and I talked to her, know where you're going. Pick your spots. It's kind of like, I'm a basketball fan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Kobe.
Right.
When Kobe is picking you apart, he's picking spots on the floor where he's going to shoot from.
Yeah. And
it's no different than you and I. We pick spots. We got to hit this moment. We got to hit this mark.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of intentional behavior.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right,
that goes into this.
Right.
And I was telling I was sitting down with our praise team at the church, and I was saying, hey, what some of us think is flow is actually prepared. Songless. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we can have variations of different flows. So I may say, hey, I'm going to do this flow, but I'm going to go here, 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 and here.
Right.
And to everyone else, it's so wonderful, but we've already prepared this.
Right.
And so while everybody else is like, what's next? We know what's next.
Right.
And so that preparation sets you up, man, to have the success.
Yeah, man. No, that's good. I wanna back up a little bit. I want to talk about, and you spoke about this a little bit earlier when you were talking about your mom.
Yeah.
I want to talk about support, like the importance of the right support system, because I've learned that sometimes you can have dreams, you can have ambition, but if you don't have the right people around you that can speak life into what you are trying to pursue,
exactly.
Sometimes it can deter you from doing whatever it is you want to do, or sometimes people can just not maybe think enough of themselves and maybe want to speak down on what you have going on.
Yes.
So talk to me about the importance of the right people around you as you're pursuing purpose.
That is very important. I'm going to say these list of names. Miana Carson, Corey Carson, Katrina Holloway, Coriana Julian, Abram Sims, Ariel Kelly, Aletha McDonald. That's our team.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the inner circle. These people are instrumental in pushing me.
Yeah.
And in pushing the entire vision.
Yeah.
And if I don't have them, I am now lacking a vital part in my journey.
Yeah.
And so people around you that are not yes people, that are going to tell you the truth, that are going to say, hey, you're doing too much, sit down.
Right.
Hey, where is this? Where is that? Hey, what about this? Do we have these things together? Right. And so we have a lot of in-house things. So my wife does our website design.
Okay.
Miana Carson does our social media. You get what I'm saying? All these other things. And these are not just support people. These are people that actually love what God is doing. Because it's a difference. It's a difference.
When they're bought into the vision.
See, it's a difference in people. And you know this.
Absolutely.
It's a difference in people that say that they love you.
Yeah.
And it's a difference in people that show that they love you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of we have thousands of Facebook friends.
Yeah.
We have thousands of supporters.
Right.
Instagram followers.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there are only those few people that will surround themselves around you.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we're going to push you no matter how. You might feel like giving up today.
Mm-hmm.
You might not feel like you're going to make it today.
Right.
But today, we're going to push you. And it is important because even when you are looking at anybody in any leadership role, there is no successful leader without, watch this, successful supporters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the success of support is vital to your success in ministry.
Yeah. No, that's so, yes. That's real.
And
Absolutely.
the support has to be successful.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is nobody support is different to different people.
Right. That's true. That's true.
It is hard to convey support in a way that you haven't been told how to. Like, I can't support you in a way that you don't need to be supported.
Right.
If I'm not hurting, I don't need a crutch.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so some people, you need the right kind of support because some people will support you in ways that you don't need.
You don't need it, right? So it can't just be any team.
It can't just be any team.
Yeah.
It has to be the right team.
The right team.
Yeah.
No, that's good. While we're kind of talking along those lines, one of the things that I've heard you say over the years is God, family, music.
Yes.
And everything else is second.
Yep.
Talk to me about that because priorities, I can imagine that as an artist, managing priorities is something that you have to be intentional about. I think about like the shows and the road and the obligations and the interviews and the marketing and the albums and the recordings, but you have a young family.
Yes.
You still have other obligations in ministry. Yeah. You know, you got your young kids and well, they're not babies anymore. But I mean, talk to me about priorities. What does that mean to you?
Man, priorities are everything. And so, man, I honestly, this is something that I am ever learning.
Yeah. Because you never really master it, right?
You never master it,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
like, it's always like a, I should have did that different. You're right. That different.
Right.
Or your wife give you that eye like, So you going there?
Right. I got you.
I should give you that. Yeah, you can go. I'm like,
Right,
you know,
right. I'm not gonna be able to make it, y'all.
Hey, let me slay. Just next time.
Right.
Not tonight. You know.
I got you.
And so, man, it you have to be intentional about it. So it is in that order.
Yeah.
God, family, music.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times, man, even, oh man, I know I'm getting in trouble for this. Sometimes we can put church before our families.
Let me interject. Because it said God, family, and music, and for a lot of people, they think God and church is the same thing.
Same thing, bro. And it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not.
Not.
Like, I understand that we go to church because of God.
Yes.
And as a form of reference.
Yes.
But the function, especially for those who are employed by the church.
Yes.
It's not, and I think even
bro.
sometimes the church don't understand that.
Here's the dysfunction that the church has created.
Yeah.
And the staff.
We're gonna both get in trouble for this.
Yeah, we're gonna get in a lot of trouble.
It's all good.
Here's the issue, man. So we as the church, and I'm gonna say us as a church, we ain't gonna exclude ourselves from the church.
I got you. Right.
What we do is we put unrealistic demands on people that have obligations.
Yeah.
What do I mean? We want them here on Monday for meeting. We want them back here on Tuesday. Wednesday is church. Thursday is rehearsal. It's a revival special service. Somebody preaching somewhere, and we got to go play for that.
Right.
You might have Saturday, preferably if one of the saints don't go home and
Yeah,
give the Lord.
you don't have a funeral.
You might have
Right.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And then you can't stay out too late Saturday night because
Sunday.
you got to be up early Sunday morning. And the issue is we have created dysfunction.
Yeah.
And we are telling people that, hey, you got to come here. You got to be here all the time. You got to be here every time the doors open.
Yeah.
And that is not true, because the very thing that was designed to keep families together, you can use it to tear them apart.
That's right. And if you read your word, your family is your first
ministry. It's your first ministry.
So when you say God, family, music, that's the order.
That's the order.
That's the order. And I think that sometimes you have to enlighten people and explain what that means to you, because for different people it means different things. So when they hear God, family, music, they're like, oh, well, God first means church first. And so I wanted you to touch on that, because I can imagine as an artist that's a hard space to navigate when you have a young family, and I can imagine that's why for so many artists the family structure suffers, because the priorities are misaligned.
And the thing about it is that your family knows when they're not in the right place.
Absolutely.
They know.
Those kids know. Yeah. Because they're like, Dad, you just went to rehearsal last night. Right. Why are y'all rehearsing again tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you went already.
You know? Absolutely.
And once they grow up, they're like,
Yeah.
Again?
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And so and it's important to keep that order and to have those kind of priorities, because while we know church is extremely important, you don't want it to become mundane or worse, something that they end up hating.
That's true. That's because that happens.
Because that happens.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, from somebody that was in church 5 days out of 7, bro.
Right.
Like you will grow up saying, I don't want to see another. Not another church.
Right.
If I go to one more church service, I'm gonna lose it.
Right.
And so you have to be careful, because if you don't prioritize this stuff right, too much of it is not gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's real.
And I know it seems bad,
Yeah.
But that's the truth.
Absolutely.
Too much of it is going to cause you to hate it eventually.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, those kids are going to be like, I don't want to go here again.
Yeah. You got to have balance.
You got to have balance.
You
have to have the right, a healthy balance.
Right.
So it may mean sometimes that, hey, look, listen, I'm not going to take this engagement.
Right.
Or, hey, this month,
yeah,
it's off.
Right.
I can't go anywhere because I'm dedicating all of this time to my family.
Yeah.
And so that may mean, and I know, and here's another thing too. Mm-hmm. We have created this financial dysfunction.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I'm with you.
To where we're going to hold your money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And granted, we understand the business relationship.
Sure.
But we have to think about, if I lose my family, I could potentially lose everything else as well.
Right. That's right.
Because it is my family that kind of helps create the sanity that I need to get back up on stage and do it again.
That's right.
Because let's be honest about it. After the stage has ticked you off, after church people didn't ran you raggedy and ran you crazy,
yeah,
you get to go home to a family,
yeah,
and say,
that's what really matters.
That's what matters.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
No, that's good, man. That's so good. One more question before we get to the music part, and then I'm gonna let you get out of here. I want to talk a little bit about courage, because I want you to talk to the people because let's be honest, the music industry, no matter the genre, is a very oversaturated industry. Yes. Like, there are so many people that want to do music. There are people that have the gift to sing, write, play, whatever. But very few people actually find the courage to say, you know what, I'm going to actually do it. Like there's somebody that's probably listening right now that's an amazing writer, but they're like, it just seems too far-fetched. It seems unrealistic. If there's a million people out there, like, what's going to make this one little song? Like, speak to that. How did you find that courage? And then how do you encourage somebody else?
There was, I was privileged to lead worship at a church, and he has become one of my best friends in the world. His name is Craig Murchison. Mm-hmm. And at the time, man, I was in a transition, man. We were at this new church, and we were trying to build, and there were a lot of different things going on at one time.
Yeah.
Here is what I want to say to everyone. A lot of times we struggle with courage because we struggle with the courage to stand in our own identities.
Ooh. Wow.
And a lot of times it is not the fact. We know in the back of our heads we can sing.
Yeah.
We know in the back of our heads we can write. We know in the back of our heads we can play. But the issue comes in, will they like my singing?
And do you think that's as a result of comparison?
That's it.
Like you're looking.
Comparison kills courage.
It does. Comparison kills courage. Wow.
Anytime I start to line myself up with anyone else, I start to say, oh, I don't do it like them.
Yeah.
And that diminishes my courage bit by bit.
Yeah.
And I start saying to myself, I don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
Because what if it doesn't meet the standard of this?
What if it doesn't sound
What
like
if it don't sound like this?
Yeah.
They sung it this way, and what if I can't?
Yeah.
is the issue. We then it's not when we go out and do it, it's no longer us having the courage, it's us just being copycats.
Because I mean, at that point, I can just get the original.
If
I want to hear that record, I'll get that rather than buy.
Yeah.
So you said, let me catch that again. You said comparison kills courage.
Yes.
Wow.
It kills your courage.
Yeah.
It causes because it diminishes you.
Yeah.
And it magnifies all of your insecurities.
Yeah. That's so real.
And then it causes your courage to just be on the floor. Your confidence, your courage, it causes you to sink to this low place. And what it is that a lot of times, man, we get in situations and we revert back. Mm-hmm. We revert back to the copycat nature.
Yeah.
And we say, hey,
because this worked before
for
somebody else.
It worked before.
Yeah.
So it'll work now. And to everybody that may watch this or that is listening, please don't let the comparison kill your courage.
Right.
Don't spend your whole life comparing yourself when you can spend your whole life preparing yourself for whatever God has for you.
And sometimes that might mean letting go of social media for a little bit.
That's it.
Because I heard Aaron Lindsay say one time, I was listening to an interview that he did. He was talking about his creative process. He's one of my favorite producers in the world. And he was talking about when he's preparing for a new record, he doesn't listen to music for a few months. Like he listens to like, I forget what he described it as, but it's like this meditation style. But he doesn't listen to like, because he doesn't want to lose his sound in the process of preparing. And so what I hear you saying is basically just being true to who you are.
Be true to who you are.
Because trying to emulate something else can kill your courage. Because when you realize you're not that person, because God only made them, but just being confident in the fact that He made you like you are for a reason.
For a reason.
And that's not just for singers, that's for anybody.
That's for anybody walking
like
the
I might not, as a point guard, I may not be able to shoot like Steph, but I can do what I do well, and I have to be confident in that.
That's it.
Yeah.
You just said it, bro. You have to find the things that you do well.
Right.
And stand in that.
Just do that.
And we have to realize that that's enough.
That's enough. Mm-hmm.
There are so many people out here that are suffering because they don't think that they're enough. And what God has given to you is enough.
Absolutely.
What He gave to David was enough.
It was enough. Even if the people didn't see it initially.
Even if they didn't.
They didn't see it initially. Because it was like, David, you don't even come in the house. You stay out there because we know you're not the one.
And check this out. Even if it looks insignificant to other people.
Yeah.
It's still enough in his eyes. And if it comes from his hands.
Right. That's crazy.
If it comes from his hands, it's going to be enough.
Wow.
To get you to wherever his hand is going to take you.
That's right. That's right.
If whatever he gives to you comes from God's hands, it's going to be enough.
It's enough.
It's enough, man. Wow. It is enough. And that alone can give you enough courage to stand in any situation. In front of any crowd.
Yeah.
And stand in any circumstance. Yeah. Is that knowing that what God gave you was enough.
It's enough. Wow. Man, that's so good. We can be here all day talking about that. And I know you got to go, so I just want to end with the music. So, I know you just did the recording.
Yes.
What's the name of the record?
Release the Sound Live.
Release the Sound. Now, when is the first single coming out? So, talk to me about that process real quick. I know we was talking off camera a little bit, and it was a lot. I know it was a lot.
So, bro, that was the process.
Yeah.
So, to give you how it started. Mm-hmm. Man, we were in rehearsal one day, and we had these songs, and we were like, cool, we in the house just vibing, hanging out to it. So I'm like, God speaks to me and says, I want you to do a live recording. I said, okay. I was like, all right. I was all for it at first.
Right, it sound good.
See, because when God tells you something. He never he shows you, he tells you at the beginning, gives you the end.
Yeah. You don't get the details.
You don't get the details. I got scripture to prove it.
Right.
Come here, Gideon.
Right.
I'm going to deliver you from out of the hands of the Midianites. Right. I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm not going to tell you got to do it with less people.
No.
I'm not going to tell you going to have to, you ain't really going to fight.
Right.
None of this stuff. So it tells me, I want you to do a record. I'm like, cool, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Got all these ideas running through my head. I'm like, cool, all right, cool. We can do it. We start prepping for it.
Yeah.
Boom, COVID hits. I'm like, man. So I'm like, cool. No worries. I'm thinking like everybody else. It'll be over after a while.
Yeah.
Postpone it. I get another date in my head. Got to postpone that because we got a spike. I get another date. I don't think that date gonna work.
Yeah.
I get one more date. I'm like, nah, we still can't do it.
Yeah.
I get on my bike, bro. True story. I get on my bike, and I remember telling my wife, I said, I was so down, I was so disappointed. At that moment, I did not know if I was gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna take a ride.
Yeah.
Took a ride on my bike, and I said, Lord, why did you tell me this if all of this was gonna happen?
Yeah.
Why did you
that discouragement and weight we were talking about?
Yes.
That. Sometimes that weight will remove your courage.
Bro.
Yeah.
I started losing my courage because I had been waiting so long.
They say the most difficult room to be in is the waiting room.
Is the waiting room, yeah.
Because he told you to record, but he didn't say when.
He never told me when.
Just get ready to record.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I ever going to do this? I'm crying real tears. I have this prayer meditation music on, and I'm praying and I'm talking to him. Voice tells me, just wait. I have something for you.
Yeah.
I wait. Originally, we had planned to do this in a gym.
Okay.
Needless to say, God showed me so much favor until they gave us the church that seats 3,000 people.
Wow.
Now, here. Oh, Devin, here is where it gets crazy for me.
Yeah.
Because my lack of courage almost causes me to deny the blessing that God was giving to me. Because I didn't think
you didn't see it possible.
I didn't see it possible.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't no, we don't need that building.
Yeah.
We don't need that. I don't know how many people gonna come.
I mean, Maverick City had this building.
Yes, Maverick City did their concert here. So I'm like, cool. No.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Right. And
God's like, no. And I'm still saying, no. We don't need that building. So much until they were doing renovations in the part of the church that I wanted to do the recording in, so I had no other choice.
You didn't have a choice. Wow.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Right.
And so
there's no plan B.
There's no plan B.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like, cool. This all right. Now we gotta figure out how we gonna.
Yeah.
Man, I was blessed to go on James Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Fortune's Live Talent with James Fortune and Isaac Reed. Huge shout out to them.
Yeah.
Which helped us get some momentum.
I got you.
Going into the recording.
I got you.
Which caused us to get, hey, y'all about to do a recording? Cool. We're gonna come. We're gonna show. We're gonna.
Yeah.
And the more I waited,
mm-hmm.
that's the more doors God opened up for me.
Wow.
The longer, every time I got anxious and said, I'm ready now, God, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Another favor dropped in my lap. Wait.
Wow.
More favor dropped in my lap. No, just wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait until the time comes. And now we are experiencing the week of, man, all kind of distractions and everything happened.
Absolutely.
And man, needless to say, we were able to go through the entire recording without even having to start over.
Wow. And for anybody that knows anything about live recordings, that's big.
That's huge.
To just flow through the session.
We were right. We was able to flow through the session, and God was so evident in the room.
Yeah. Until
people, they didn't know that they were at a recording.
Wow.
We were just in worship.
Just flowing.
We were just flowing. We were just going for what we know.
Yeah, man.
And before you know it, man, it was the end of the night. And I was like, God, you did it.
Yeah.
And more people came out, bro, than, man, huge shout out to Jacksonville. Y'all showed up. I can't wait for y'all to see this. See this DVD and see these videos from this recording.
Yeah, man.
Man, they showed up in a huge way. Gainesville, y'all came and showed up in a huge way. People from everywhere, man, they came and they supported. And the thing about it is, man, since we're talking about courage, the thing about it is that waiting at one point was taking my courage. But then once the season changed, I allowed waiting to build my courage.
Wow. That's good, man.
And what changed was his voice changed everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing, man, like, that changes in those moments.
Absolutely.
Is that as long as I can hear him speaking,
that's all the courage you
that's
need.
all the courage I need.
Yeah.
And as long as he kept speaking to me, I was like, cool, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's gonna, no matter, it's gonna work out.
Wow.
It's gonna work out. And so, man, it is. So
wow,
y'all be on the
man.
lookout. It's coming soon.
Wow, man. Listen, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for what's coming. Not just with this album coming out, but just your journey, man. You are. I was actually just telling someone a couple weeks ago, before we even had this date scheduled. I was like, man, Mike is probably the most consistent artist that I know in terms of you're pushing through. You're consistent with putting out music, with just pursuing your artistry. So man, hats off to you. And I want to just say, keep doing what you're doing. We support you. I'm excited about the music. Thank you for your time. I know, man. I know how life is.
Thank y'all for having me, bro.
Absolutely, man. And I can't wait for the record to come out. Where can we follow you? Where can we connect with you?
Instagram, Michael _J Holloway. Facebook, Michael J Holloway. YouTube, Michael J Holloway.
Absolutely, man.
TikTok, Michael J Holloway.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. Well, listen, it's been another episode of Courage Chronicles. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see y'all next time. All right.
Peace.